And the winner is, ladies, help me out, Outkast. Goody Mob. In the house.
What's up to all the original MCs out there, people out there who got their own stuff. So what's up, Dre?
But it's like this, though. I'm tired of folks, you know what I'm saying? Them closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and don't nobody want to hear it, but it's like this, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
Andre 3000 said this at the Source Awards in 1995. So why does it seem like no one listened until 2000, or most likely 2003? Either you were barely alive in 2003, or like me, you were there, but things are starting to get fuzzy because you're getting up in age. Here's 2003 in a nutshell. We invaded Iraq to get the WMDs. 2 sequels to the 1999 mega hit The Matrix came out and were ass. Fight Me. MySpace and 4chan went live. 50 Cent got rich because he wasn't trying to die. And of course, Outkast is a group that's known to reinvent themselves, similar to how no Kanye album sounds alike or no Kendrick album really sounds the same. But how did they go from this to this?
And the Grammy goes to SpeakerBoxx, The Love Below, Outkast.
Some of that lends to learning new techniques, or like most artists, new life experiences. But I don't know if the culture, you and me included, puts enough respect on the early years of Outkast. Revisiting old classics is a recipe that's being forgotten, so let me cook. As many can relate, Antoine Patton and Andre Benjamin were products of broken homes. Antoine, or Big Boy, being raised by his mother after moving from Savannah, Georgia to East Point, Decatur, and Andre, at the time Dre, being raised by his mother in Atlanta, East Point, and Buckhead. Which is all just Atlanta, unless you ask somebody from Atlanta. The wild part is that Dre and Big Boy met as rivals, battling each other during lunch when they both attended Tri-Cities High School in East Point. I couldn't find out who was winning those battles, but something tells me it was Big Boy. More on that later. But this is where they found that their styles complemented each other. 1 chance encounter is coincidence. 2 chance encounters is fate. Because after meeting each other, they soon met Organized Noise, a production trio from Atlanta that had a production deal with LaFace Records, which was owned by Kenneth Babyface Edmonds and L.A. Reid. It was because of this deal that members Rico Wade, Ray Murray, and Patrick Sleepy Brown connected with local talent to produce for them, with the goal of taking them to LaFace Records and hopefully getting signed. It was actually Rico that discovered Outkast during a talent show audition at a local beauty supply.
They met Rico Wade their senior year.
I was working at a beauty supply store in East Point, Georgia.
Rico and I were having a conversation. I said, man, I wish we had 2 young dudes. I'm talking about like 2 fly high school cats to come. We'd be straight. As I said that, these 2 guys came walking over the hill.
When they came, we were standing out in front of the store and we were just chilling for a minute. Rick was like, well, what can y'all do?
They rapped over this song, man. I swear they rapped for about 10 minutes apiece with no breaks.
It just started flowing.
Imagine spitting your heart out right next to the do-rags and wave grease. They were quickly introduced to The Dungeon, the home studio located in the basement of Rico's mother's house, where they met other producers and rappers like Goody Mob. Altogether, they would be known as the Dungeon Family, a loose collection of like-minded artists that all have recorded music in the Dungeon and even includes Future. The road to Outkast's first album was kind of a speed run. I mean, they jagged the first audition with L.A. Reid, but were able to get another shot. And even though it went against everything they stood for as conscious, anti-mainstream rappers, LaFace was putting out a Christmas album and asked them to contribute. Their first ever single, Players Ball, is a Christmas song.
After Outkast was signed, L.A. Reid calls us. He's like, we got a Christmas album, and then we think this is an opportunity to introduce Outkast.
They was like, man, we don't want to do no Christmas song. A Christmas song.
Dre's reaction was, man, what the hell we gonna talk about? We some rappers, man. Like, rappers don't be talking about Christmas.
And it was basically talking about, you know, how there barely is a Christmas in the ghetto.
We basically saying that this is what we do every day. We never change because of a holiday.
I heard the song and I said, oh my God, this is amazing. We need an album.
Southern playlistic Cadillac music sounds familiar. Not just because it's a 90s album, it sounds like a 90s rap album. This album was the foundation. Their individual perspectives coming together to paint a full picture of Atlanta lifestyles. Big Boy with his bombastic imagery and Andre with a poetic insight, with both showing a teenage ego and desire for money, women, and partying. I have the same experiences, believing so hard in music that you're foregoing your actual responsibility. If you search hard enough, you'll find a mixtape that I put out with my mans, and I just remember like recording in just off the wall ass places, just unprofessional ass places. Nothing as, I don't want to say bad as The Dungeon, because some great shit came out of there, but nothing as decrepit. Nah, it's worse. Riding around in my bro Chrysler Sebring, the photo purple Chrysler Sebring. So when I listen to songs like Crumble and Herb, I'm taken back to riding around on the west side in that car, freestyling for 20 minutes straight. So it doesn't surprise me that they found success right out the gate. By June, it was gold. By April of the following year, it was platinum. They had toured, had that unfortunate Source Awards incident, but they also started work on the next album. Immediately on ATLiens, you can hear and feel the chips that they had on their shoulder. I've seen reviews from the time saying that this album sounded spacier, but to me it's a lot darker. Arguably the biggest song from this album, Elevators, perfectly summarizes the themes of this second album. They've seen success. They've seen hate. Their lives have changed. Big Boy had had his first child and was likely pondering how to live life, balancing celebrity and fatherhood.
Twan had his first child, Jordan Patton, March 31st, 1995.
Big Boy was so excited about becoming a father.
Fatherhood for Antoine was a really big deal since, you know, his dad wasn't there most of the time for him. He was going to make sure that he's going to be there for his child.
On the first album, you probably thought that the group was inseparable. Their image was pretty much the same. On ATLiens, Dre started going in a different direction.
Basically, this is where Andre 3000 started dressing weird.
He didn't want to be a pimp. He didn't want to be a player.
That was Big Boy's vibe. Big Boy really embellished it. Dre was just more in between.
He stopped drinking, he stopped eating meat, he stopped smoking.
He grew his hair, you know, he got into books and spiritualism.
ATLiens is a total metamorphosis album.
I think that because of everything that they were going through, this is why we start to see the evolution of Outkast to more resemble the Outkast that we know today. They continue to speak about their experiences in Atlanta, namely the SWATs, Decatur, but they also added a lot of themselves into this album. Along with Organized Noise, they began to produce as well. Songs like Mainstream add to the themes presented in Elevators, blowing up but not being really rich, as well as avoiding the pitfalls of superstardom. It's also apparent that they had a bigger budget because, honestly, Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music was a tough listen. The ideas were there and it was cohesive, but the production value skyrocketed on ATLiens. They took everything they learned in building off the success of their first album.
ATLiens was released August 27, 1996.
I think out of their discography, if you would have asked me before I started this video, my favorite album would obviously be SpeakerBoxx, Love Below, or Wildcard, The Idle Wild. Right now, my favorite album has to be ATLiens just because it resonates with where I am right now in my YouTube career. I've done this for about a year now, and I've had previous YouTube channels, so I have the experience, my base foundation. It feels like I found my niche, and I can just build off that. So when I listen to ATLiens, I feel like I'm right where I need to be. ATLiens eventually went double platinum. Aquemini, the last album I want to talk about in this era, but it's definitely not the least important. This is the album that introduced me to Outkast. The biggest thing that I remember was Rosa Parks.
We just put out something for both people, like, so you can choose, you know, we almost had two singles to drop before the album came out, so people can, like, on the underground tip, understand what Outkast about, you know what I'm saying, and then for people, like, who just love music, like straight radio, you know what I'm saying, they love that Rosa Parks.
But also, actual Rosa Parks sued them.
Rosa Parks.
But going back and listening to this album, I realized that the "When Are Outkast Breaking Up" rumors started very early.
Aquemini was actually like a blending of both of the signs, the Aquarius and the Gemini, like letting people know that like two totally different worlds can come together and make this music, you know. And then at the time we had some people, you know what I'm saying, running around talking about it's Outkast gonna break up because we were so, like, you know, like totally like opposite, you know what I'm saying? Some people be calling it the odd couple or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's our formula. It's always worked like that.
They built upon their foundation of the first two albums by fully embracing their style and ignoring all detractors. This album was to let people know that no matter how successful they became or if they failed, that Big Boy and Andre will always be brothers. I've always been drawn to Outkast because of parallels that I see in my own life. One of them niggas actually has my exact birthday, so you know what I mean? And
you got Big Boy, the Aquarius, half of the group.
Yeah. And on this side, you got Andre 3000, the Gemini of the group. Y'all know what it is.
I have a lot of family members that have been that same mixture, so I get why they made such a cohesive group. Now that I'm able to see that a lot of their career, they knew exactly what they wanted to represent and exactly what they wanted to present as their product.
And so now, you know what I'm saying, we just, you know what I'm saying, trying to put Atlanta out there, you know what I'm saying, to let people know Atlanta is here, and they got some real players in this game down here, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody still ain't heard it yet. I mean, that's real platinum. I mean, that's only a little percentage of people. We just came from overseas, you know what I'm saying, trying to see them folks over there down with them Outkast and over there.
The flood from the first album, all our people that was down with us, you know what I'm saying, they had faith, they heard the song Elevators, and they went out and picked it up, you know what I'm saying? Now we're trying to move on to the Deuce Platinum.
Like just showing the people where you from and having pride of where you coming from, you know what I'm saying, to let them know where we coming from and how we gonna put it down, you know what I'm saying?
You know, I think that there is a future for Outkast. They both are now struggling to know and identify what they represent right now. I don't see them like doing any albums in the near future. I do see them actually like doing a production type of deal.
What type of plans do y'all have?
Well, really, I don't see us like rapping for like when we get really old. Because it comes to a point in time where you have to say, man, you got to chill out, man, you know. But you can make music forever, though. I mean, you can be 80 years old on the beat machine. If it's jamming, it's jamming. You know what I mean?
I think, you know what I'm saying, we're going to start the production company starting in early 99, you know what I'm saying, Earth Tone Productions. And then we're going to give y'all, like, new groups, you know what I'm saying, just like how Outkast came to the table with the whole Southern Playlistic feel. We're going to give y'all a whole new fleet of artists, you know what I'm saying, that's coming out, you know what I'm saying, from ATL or wherever.
Their sound and their style, people are still paying homage. Not just Andre. Big Boy is just as influential. For real, G, I think he was winning them lunchroom battles because he was on that Lucius Left Foot shit early, I'm sure. He just looked like a badass kid, G. I'm sorry. Like, tell me these not class clown vibes. Big Boy is also taking some risks musically that are underappreciated. I can actually make a whole video on that. Hopefully I've nudged you into putting some old Outkast on the playlist. If you haven't by now, subscribe to the channel and like this video. Got some more content. We're aiming for daily content. We're aiming for play buttons on the wall. Check the page. There's some other videos. Subscribe button over here. And
so it's nice.
Yeah, it's definitely hot. So yo, we're gonna get ready to hit them with a couple of videos and come back with Outkast. But first, let me ask you this question. I got the interview on parental advisory before, and they use the same slang word, you know what I'm saying? I think it might catch on soon, crunk.